England. A small country at the top of the world, shaped by fire, ice, and the slow hand of time. It's a land that's not only carved out history and shaped the modern world, but also one that hides landscapes so unique they feel almost otherworldly. Ancient forests, winding rivers, and valleys that could be straight out of a storybook. And hidden amongst them is a place called Padley Gorge. Hello everybody, I'm Dan and welcome to Off Grid. I don't think I've ever introduced myself as my YouTube name, so this is the first time. If you're new here, welcome, thank you for clicking on my video, and if you've watched my videos before, welcome back. Padley Gorge is a deep but narrow valley in the Peak District, Derbyshire, between Grindleford Village and the A61, the A6187 road. As I said in the intro, it's something out of a fairy tale. It's truly beautiful. So here we are, we're with Frank today. He wasn't in the last video, but the favourite quadruped's here today, aren't you, bud? So this is the end of the river. We're actually hiking up the trail. I just took a video of it then. So the stream running through this gorge is called Burbage Brook, which cuts through the gritstone of Padley Gorge. If you don't know what gritstone is essentially a tougher sandstone, which we'll get onto later because there's a bit more information on that. So as you can see from the rocks around here, they're all covered in moss called soft moss. And this essentially means that the area is part of a temperate rainforest. So a temperate rainforest is essentially a forest with very mild temperatures, but with heavy rainfall. A lot of the normal trees are mixed in with evergreen trees, so they're trees that last all year round. Temperate rainforests are actually extremely rare. So there's not actually that many around the world. Some areas that have temperate rainforests are Canada, Chile, of course England, Wales, Ireland, yeah, and Tasmania has a really big one too. But this is an ancient rainforest. So very old trees, some trees here that are hundreds of years old. Oh wow. Very old trees falling down here. Down there is one of the little bridges, so we'll make sure to come back this way on the way up. So I've only recently just got this camera and it's meant to be waterproof, so let's put it to the test, shall we? Seems waterproof. So Padley Gorge would have took about 320 million years to form. Here's some of the exposed gritstone. So if we look up here, I'll come back here a bit actually. If you can see over there how deep this valley is, This is only the tip of the iceberg, but the river would have started all the way up here, and it's now eroded down to here. So all this water comes from the moorlands above, and it's just, you know, eventually eroded through here and made the gorge. Getting a bit hot now. I could use a plunge in there. Jeez. Didn't realise there was this much climbing. We made it. That's how far down it is. That's how far down the gorge is. You just have to climb up there. It's very, very deep. Deeper than I thought, actually. Glacial erosion actually played a huge part in the formation of Padley Gorge. So there weren't actually glaciers in Padley Gorge. However, glaciers in other regions swept through the gorge and eroded it even faster throughout time. Wow, so there's like a little stream coming from here, and it cuts through the rock. I actually wonder, oh wow, it goes all the way up there. Yeah, there's just water coming from the moorland all the way up there. So if we head up there, we'll see it all, and where it all comes from, how the brook's formed. So yeah, here you can see, this ground's just soaking. It's just like squishy, and yeah, it's just coming from up top there. The forest is so alive here. There's so many like animals in the trees. I keep seeing there's like acorns everywhere. So there's a lot of oak trees around, but there's just constant dropping of the acorns just falling around. You can literally see them here. So yeah, there's just so many birds in the trees. So the area is actually protected because the species of birds that are quite rare, and some of which are endangered. There used to be so much woodland around Padley Gorge, but sadly it's been lost due to the deforestation, and obviously the bird population's dwindled because of it. But the type of birds you can find here are the hawfinch, the dipper, pied flycatcher, the wood warbler, and the red start. The red start's actually really rare here, so it's not seen much. It looks like a bunch of rotten mushrooms because these ants are going crazy on it, or whatever they are. Ants and something else. Fruit flies, yeah. This area has been described as something like straight out of a fairy tale, and I can see why. All them mossy boulders down there. I can't imagine what it's like in summer or autumn. Now I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for a bridge. It's very picturesque, that's why I want to go there. You can go underneath it. I'm not sure if you're meant to, but I see a lot of TikToks of people doing that. However, I've looked for the location and I've searched to see if anyone would drop where it is. but it seems like everyone wants to keep it on the low. I don't know if this is just like because they want to preserve it or they don't want like tourists flooding to it, which I get that, but hopefully we'll be able to spot it on our own. Now the other thing is tied to the history of the area. I'm looking for a gritstone. If you don't know what a gritstone is, it's something that they ground wheat, barley, things like that with. They used to actually source it from the nearby areas, and that was like the main money maker of the area, was making these gritstones from about the 1700s to a little bit onwards. I have just found this wall though, and it looks pretty old, so maybe we're in the right area. So along this path, we start to see how many birch trees there are. So you can see over here, these birch trees. Now there's 3 species of birch in the forest. You've got British birch, silver birch, and downy birch, it's called. The actual area is a site for scientific interest because this is what a lot of the upland Peak District used to look like. It's not like that anymore, but it would have been covered in forest like this. So this is the downy birch I was talking about. And I don't really want to slip down there, but you can see the leaves, what kind of shape they are. Small and round shape. And they go a beautiful orange colour, like this. I don't think this is a downy birch though. I just think this is another type of tree, it seems. But that's gorgeous. Now I've just come to this part and I have to say you don't see stuff like this every day. So these are oak trees. You can tell by their leaves, which are here. Oak have this kind of looking leaf. Most people probably know that, and they drop acorns, which are here. But they're all tangled and old and ancient, and there's just moss growing off them. It's honestly beautiful. I've seen so many different types of mushrooms up here, and here we are. We're at the top of Padley Gorge, and this is what the majority of the Peak District looks like now. Upland anyway. Whoa! Okay, so I've literally just come down this trail. It's dark, I've got my flashlight on, but we found the millstone. Okay, so these millstones, they were used in, obviously, mills to grind up wheat and barley. The middle bit here was for the axle, to actually be able to, grind it and rotate it. And they'd usually drill a hole in the side there, or closer to the middle here, and they'd put the barley or the wheat in, or whatever they wanted to grind up. On the underside of it, there's ridges, and it'd push out the grinded whatever you wanted, the wheat or the barley. It would push it out. They mined them here, and a place nearby called Bowl Hill, and because it's so hard, as you can see, it's like shining, but it's really hard type of sandstone, as I said before. But yeah, used for mills. Amazing. So we found one of the things I was looking for, which took a little while, but the sun is going down and I don't have much time to get back before it's absolutely pitch black and I'm stuck in the woods. And I don't really want to be stuck in this terrain when it's pitch black, But hopefully we can find it on the way back. I doubt it, but I put a picture of it, what it looks like. It was really nice picture, but everyone keeps gatekeeping it, so yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate it. If you like my videos, make sure to subscribe and like. I'm trying to grow my channel, so I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much once again. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a comment of anywhere you'd like me to go, or anywhere you're interested in, and I'll see to it. Once again, been an amazing walk. I've got my steps in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.